Why YouTube gurus make millions and you don't. So YouTube gurus like Iman Ghazi, Ali Abdaal, Alex Hormozi, and a whole host of others get millions of views and make millions of pounds and dollars doing what they love on YouTube, yet the vast majority of their viewers are unable to copy and to emulate their success. In this video, I want to talk about what those people should do who have tried and failed to copy the things they see online but are unable to actually drive any money into their bank. I want to provide some context and a lens of reality on these gurus, for better and for worse. And then if you have failed time and time again to copy what you see online, then I want to give you a realistic plan of what you should actually do with your life. My name's George, I'm a therapist and coach. I try and help people. So let's explore the background of who these gurus are. Some are scammers and some are not. There are people selling Forex advice on Instagram on the background of some Lamborghini photo who are clearly scammers, okay? They get 100 members, 10 of them make profit, they market those who've made profit, and then the cycle goes on and on and on. You do not want to be in bed with those guys. Equally, there are of course loads of legitimate gurus who know a lot about a lot of things. In my opinion, someone like Ali Abdaal is clearly one of them. Alex Hormozi is clearly one of those legitimate gurus. However, say someone like Alex Hormozi, who's very, very legitimate, he is trying to scale companies, okay? That's what his whole thing, acquisition.com, is about. It's about finding businesses that are then able to essentially explode. Underneath that, there will be some people who don't have these businesses that are useful to him, but that will benefit from his advice, whether it be sales, whether it be marketing. They can still utilize his skills, his knowledge in some way. Below that tier, there will be people who are wishing that they can implement his skills and his techniques and his knowledge, but just fundamentally don't. For whatever reason, whether it's what they're doing just doesn't work or they don't have anywhere to apply it, the knowledge that they are obtaining through watching these YouTube videos has no real impact, okay? These are the people I'm really trying to talk to you. If that's you, I really, really want you to hear this message, okay? What all of the legitimate gurus have in common is that they've been out in the real world, they've learned legitimate skills, have legitimate experience, and then they've brought that onto YouTube, onto the platform YouTube, and are now advertising that to the rest of the world for the world's benefit and for theirs. Now, if you are someone who's just watched a lot of content and got nowhere with it, you need to appreciate they've got this amazing foundation of application in their life. And if you don't, you really need to think wisely about how you're spending your time. I appreciate that someone can go on to Hustlers University, learn about email marketing, and legitimately start earning a decent amount of money, even if they're like 16. But that will not be applicable to a lot of people. That will be applicable to a select few individuals who just have the knack for it, who can just make it work, whatever. The thing about these gurus is they showcase the top 1%, a very marginal amount of people who can be very, very successful, potentially, and make it look very easy. The vast majority of people in this world actually don't work at 1,000,000 miles an hour, don't have this amazing experience, they're just trying to like get by. So how do those people implement the advice they're seeing of these gurus? Well, it's not to spend all day at home just trying to figure stuff out. The best way to copy their success is to copy the actual pathway which they took, which is to not start on YouTube, okay? Ali Abdaal hasn't been just sat there inside watching YouTube videos his entire life and has now managed to make a massive success of it. He went out, he became a doctor, he had other businesses that weren't YouTube related, and then has translated eventually all of these skills into a very, very successful YouTube business and beyond. So, if you haven't been able to get the guru's advice to work so far, I would like you to copy the actual theme of what all the gurus are doing, and that is go out into the real world, whether it be in education, whether it be an apprenticeship, whether it be a career pathway that you're on that just happens to be really great, and get real world experience. It's not just, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a broker, or nothing. At any level of intellect or whatever, wherever you are kind of academically, you can still engage in this very simple process. You can be a tradesperson, you can be a salesperson. There are many ways to be successful. Just go out into the real world and set yourself on a career path that if you invest enough time in, you will be successful in, okay? So for example, even if you were to go and do, I don't know, some sort of like groundworking, eventually you learn the groundworking, you learn the next thing, you learn the next thing, and you can be successful, okay? This is your safety net, this is your base. This is also providing you with a mean work ethic because you're going out and absolutely getting at it every day. It's providing you with future prosperity because if you stick at a path, even if the money at the beginning is low, like on an apprenticeship, eventually it escalates to a very comfortable living. And then also as well, you've got a real income which you can invest if you still choose to try and copy the things you see on YouTube, okay? So you go out into the real world, you do sales, well, and now, but you want to come home and do some sort of marketing, well, now you've got a bit of money, you can pay for someone to do some YouTube stuff, you can pay for some camera equipment, you can pay for some online training, you can pay for people to do your graphics, or perhaps you want to pay someone to call phones for you. Lots of things are much easier when you just have a little bit of money. To start off at literally zero makes it exceptionally hard, okay? The more money you have, especially from something as consistent as a job, the easier life can be when you can spend a few expenses on a bit of camera, on a bit of software, on a subscription, on a bit of coaching. Now, if you still, on top of that, want to try and do something that you've seen online, you really have to do your day job, come back, and then put the time in then. Now, that is exceptionally difficult because you're going to be tired. You're still maybe going to have to go to the gym, you need to look after your kids, you need to spend time with your family, but fundamentally, that's the trade-off that people don't want to make. They don't want to give up these things that are comfortable when they're tired and instead just keep on grinding, keep on putting all that time into this like pet project of theirs after work. Yes, there are people who do go all in and save up money, give themselves 6 months, or move back home with their parents and figure it out from there. But you just can't do that. It's not the safest money. People do throw that Hail Mary, American football. They throw that ball, whatever it is, like 70 yards and catch it. It's like a punt at the lottery. It's unlikely to work. So if you really want to be successful, stack the deck in your favour and give yourself the best probability of being successful. That means playing it safe during the day, having the foundation of the career, and then investing that time on top of that after work. It's very easy to get caught up in looking at people online, seeing how easy they make it look, but then forgetting that actually it's unlikely to work. And especially if it hasn't worked already, it's very easy to become disheartened and lose a sense of pragmatism in just applying a applying a safer plan. Fuck, I fucked that last bit up. I'm not doing that again. The best thing you can do is have the foundation of a steady income during the day, and then whatever it is you want to do on top of that, do it outside of work. But with the extra money you've got, it will actually become a lot easier. And most of all, you're learning to grind, you're learning to persevere, and that really is the difference between these gurus and regular people. They are willing to put in the work, they are willing to grind. Yes, some people do take the shortcut to success and figure it out relatively easily, get a lot of money relatively easily. We have seen that a lot on social media, but it's the most unlikely option. So if you truly want to be successful, stack the deck in your favor and take the highest probability chance of being successful. And what that really means is working hard during the day, working hard when you come back, being smart. If you have an income coming from a regular day job, doing your side hustle or whatever it is you want to do will become a lot easier. You can invest in marketing, you can invest in content creation, you can invest in training, and you've also got all the time in the world to do that because you've got no financial pressures, because you have an income. It ultimately comes down to what all the gurus have done, which is sacrifice now to be rewarded later. There is no shortcut to hard work. I know it seems like that on YouTube when we see the thumbnails of how I made 10 grand a day, but it's just unlikely to be a reality. Watching videos isn't enough. You really need to get out there, you really need to get stuck in. Especially if you're someone like me who can just get stuck on YouTube for hours and hours and hours. Breaking out of that, being out there in the real world is a great way to force yourself to gain experience, okay? You're accountable to something bigger than yourself. You're not just in all day scrolling, clicking. I hope this video helps. It's for those people who want to be successful but just can't seem to make it click. Good luck. Bye bye.